Hey everybody, coming to you from Herzliya, Israel. Karen just finished a momentum program. A bunch of ladies from South Florida, part of a larger group, 200 women, just finished their trip, and I joined her when it was over. Let's talk about the issue that I hope doesn't come up in your life. But let's say a person is stricken with a very, very serious illness. God forbid. Do you let others know about it? Should you tell people about your situation? The Gemara in Daf Yomi yesterday touches upon this very subject. And the context is, it starts off by saying that we're not supposed to follow the practices of idol worshippers. If they do something which is kind of superstitious oriented, we should stay away from that. So it says, let's say a person has a tree, and this tree, it's like too strong, and it's dropping its fruit prematurely. So what should you do? So the Gemara offers one solution to kind of slow down the growth so the tree will have its fruit properly. But then it also says we should paint the tree with a red pigment, put a dye on it. And the Gemara asks, why are you supposed to do that? That has nothing to do with the health of the tree. And plus, it's kind of like this idol worshiper, superstitious kind of stuff that we're supposed to avoid. So what does the Gemara say? Kihechi, in order, because the people should see this tree, and as a result, when they see the pigment, when they see the difference, they'll request mercy. They'll pray for the tree, and really for you. And that's what Rashi says. The function of the red dye is not to heal, but to attract attention to the owner's plight, so that others will pray that the health of this tree be restored. That's why we do this, to focus on it, that other people should see I'm having a financial issue here. I got this tree that isn't doing the right thing for me. Pray for my tree, which really means pray for me, that I shouldn't suffer financially. And then the Gemara goes on and says, really, this has a more serious source in it, and it's from the Metzora, the person who has biblical leprosy, which isn't really leprosy, we don't have it today. But the Torah says that he calls out, Tamei, Tamei Yikra, he calls out, I'm impure, I'm impure. He publicizes that. And why does he do that? Tzarich lahodi l'rabim, that we want him to let others know of his difficult situation. Why? V'rabim mevakshim alav rachamim, in order that the people that he comes across and tells them about his situation will pray on his behalf. They'll pray for him. So we see that when it comes to, if a person has difficulties in life, even financial ones, but certainly if they're, God forbid, stricken with an illness, you should let others know about it so they pray for you. The power of prayer, we take that very seriously, that others should pray for you and thereby hopefully help you get out of your illness. On the other hand, there's another hand over here. And the Gemara doesn't address this, but I recall this. I knew someone, I knew him pretty well, and he had cancer. And he had cancer, and soon after he let people know that he had cancer, he passed away. A number of months, I don't remember exactly. But I remember him saying that he's actually had cancer. He had it for about 5 years. But he only let people know about it, a few months before he passed away. And even some of his most immediate family members weren't informed of his situation. And he told me why. He said when he first was diagnosed with cancer, he told a very, very close friend and confidant what he had. And he said he noticed that every conversation, every meeting, every time he saw this guy afterwards, the fellow would treat him as a victim of cancer. Their relationship totally, totally changed. And he decided that, you know what, I don't want this to be my life. I don't want to be just seen as a cancer victim. I want a normal life with my relationships. And that's why even some of his immediate family members didn't know about this. He didn't want their mercy and their nebuch and how are you doing? How are you feeling today? How's it going? He wanted a normal life with people. So it's a shikul. It's like a balancing act over here. I mean, one of the important lessons I think we should need to take from that story is if you do hear of someone who has a very, very serious illness, don't define them by that illness. Don't make that now the primary part of your relationship with them. To treat them like you would always treat them. They're a human being. They're a human being who happens to be sick. They're not a sick person in totality. And that's what bothered this individual. Even though that we have a tradition, people will pray for you, he felt it was more helpful for him to just have a normal life rather than have those prayers for him. But again, the important lessons here, don't treat people totally by their sickness or illness or disability. But if a person is ever in a situation, God forbid, where you need the tefillot, even a financial one, let others know about it so they could pray for you. The power of prayer, the power of tefillah, of the more people who pray for a person, the more, so to speak, it convinces God, if such a thing, obviously, so to speak. But the more people who pray for you will have a greater effect. A couple things to think about when it comes to, God forbid, ever being in a situation where a person has a very significant and serious illness. Have a good Shabbat.